skipping the intro that has been cursed by Irate Gamer special effects. I think I know where you got the Japanese subtitle. Google Translate, perhaps?
If there's ever a classic platformer out there that really puts your mind at ease, no game does it better than one of the SNES's best and the first. It even puts every modern platformer out there to total freaking shame.
Well, yeah, I have to admit, it's a fantastic game, but there are other good platformer games out there. Take Sonic 3 and Knuckles, for example. That game is a perfect alternative for SMW. To begin with, it's a massive game. There are a lot of zones, with each zone being about twice as big as the zones from Sonic 1 and 2. Not to mention there are 14 special stages if you want to get the best ending.
I'm of course talking about none other than Super Mario World on the SNE mother friggin' S.
I call it the SNE mother friggin' S because I'm hardcore, bitches!
So let's pop this little pack of adventure in and get it started.
May I ask what happened to your SNES? It looks like you duct taped the second controller port.
So at the start, you see Mario doing his thing, kill some enemies here and there. And guess what? A new dinosaur partner of his is born. None other than good old Yoshi himself.
Yeah, we've seen the opening demo for Super Mario World so many times before. And yes, you are gonna see a lot of shots of himself. Kinda reminds me of someone. Nah, you already know who.
To start this off, you have a series of 5 steps. Choose or not, makes no difference whatsoever.
Save files are actually very useful, since they let you continue where you left off after you exit the game. And the reason why they made more than one save file is just in case somebody else in your household wants to finish the game with his or her own progress. You are right, it doesn't make a single difference to the gameplay itself, but save files are there for a reason.
Let's just start. So the story here is you're in Dinosaur Land and Princess Peach is being kidnapped again, and Bowser's behind it. So it's up to you, either Mario or Luigi, to save her once again, just like the previous Mario games. So you start off on Yoshi's Island. First you go to his house.
Or you could completely ignore it.
Check his note.
Isn't it wonderful? You're using a completely unnecessary zoom-in effect! Bravo!
The note says he's not home, but he's gonna rescue all his comrades.
What's happening to your audio? It's screwing up.
We're also being kidnapped by Bowser. So start
Again, with the unnecessary zooms. And also...
for the first world here. Get this little guy here. Yeah, eat that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, and another thing. This is the censored and extended version of the, quote, review, unquote. Another version of the same video, huh? Gee, reminds me of another person, but I can't quite put my finger on it. By the way, it's not a cat, it's a beach Koopa. Believe me, I do tons of research on Mario Wiki.
Comes Bonsai Bill. Oh, yeah, eat that motherfucker. What?
Eat that, motherfuckers! For I'm so bad at Super Mario World, yo! In all honesty, are you trying to make a review or a let's play? Because in a review, aren't you supposed to go in depth about what you like and dislike about the game? You can joke around in a let's play, but making a game review is quite different.
So yeah, if you're familiar with all the previous Mario games on the NES, and a long-time gamer like me,
well, obviously you're not the only one. A lot of gamers grew up with either an NES, SNES, Genesis, or Nintendo 64. And it kinda seems like you're bragging about you being a long-time gamer. The key word being seems.
you should feel right at home with this, for sure. Even with the Game Boy Advance remake, too. So you start running around like the previous Mario games. Go Y down. You have a new jumper here, the spin jump. You can kill enemies faster. Go through the blocks faster. Woohoo!
Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the main problem of the video. The audio for both the game footage and the commentary are inconsistent. Here's a tip for you. Don't have the camera record yourself playing the game if you're not that good at making the audio sync properly. Instead, I recommend writing a script, then record yourself saying what's on the script without any background noise.
Get down that hole. can explore new terrains too.
The zooming effects didn't help the video, but will the panning effect do the job?
No!
One part of myself I'll never forget even to this day.
Again, your commentary audio is butchered. Wonder what happened.
After you get out of the cave, you end up rocketing out of this big diagonal pipe. And these little sticks of tape here, every stage you go through, you run into them, and you can...
Not gonna repeat myself about the audio. And the zoom effects.
You can also get all sorts of power-ups too, like the classic flame here. Might as well wait red, shoot flames.
Classic flame? I thought it was called a fire flower.
What?
Here's another thing I have to bring up. Because the game audio overpowered your commentary volume, it sounds like you're babbling random things, making it really hard for the audience to hear and understand you. What was with that random fade effect?
That's right, Mario. Collect those mother***ing coins. Collect those mother***ing coins! Woo! Alright.
If I were you, I would bring the P switch to the left side upon entering the stage, press it, then continuously jump while running to get the most coins. Well, that's how I play the yellow switch palace anyway.
Let's get that yellow switch enabled. 3, 2, 1!
Oh my god! I just did the best thing ever! I pressed a huge yellow switch! Woot! Yeah, I couldn't resist. I like making impressions of other people.
Yeah, every time you step on a color switch, yellow, green, doesn't matter, that certain color will be turned from a dotted square to a colored box with an exclamation point on it, meaning you can get any power you want. Depends on the color.
Well, it's not entirely true, because the red and blue blocks don't contain power-ups.
Yeah, watch out for the flames. That was close.
They aren't that hard to avoid, actually. You just need to wait for them to jump from the lava, then when they come back down, you can pass.
I can also switch sides too. What?
I can tell you love to curse, considering you're a fanboy of AVGN and Irate Gamer. And why'd you blurt out, "What?"
Bag. Any more enemies? I thought so. You may come back, but let's just continue on the damn level anyway. This work is really, really dangerous, so it's gonna be a pain in the ass for you first timers out there.
Hey, guess what? The audio inconsistency is really showing. As for this segment of the castle, it's not that difficult. Just watch out for the giant pillar.
Damn! Oh, shit! That was close, huh?
Must not repeat myself!
Alright, Iggy's mine! Come on, motherfucker! What? Into the damn pool you go! What? What? Oh, there he goes. Son of a bitch.
Whoa, boy, you're getting a little too excited there. Also, when Iggy is right next to a ledge, don't attack him when the platform tilts to the other side. Wait for the platform to tilt to that side again, then attack him. It's a much quicker way to beat Iggy.
Ooh, another extra life! God, must be my lucky day!
Wrong, it's because the game is generous of giving you loads of lives, like in most games in the main Mario series.
In some levels too, whenever there's a key and a keyhole in place, you can discover all sorts of new paths. Just gotta be real lucky though.
Is it really that necessary to show 3 clips of Mario going through keyholes? I didn't think so. Also, finding the secret goals don't require luck. They are always in certain locations in various levels.
Path being opened up, deviating from the normal. Alright, our first secret ghost house.
It's actually the only secret ghost house in the game. The other ghost houses don't have the word secret in it, just to let you know.
And you can't kill with the flames either. What were they thinking?
Stop it!
Really? You're complaining about how they made the boos immune to fireballs. Of course you can't kill them with fireballs. There are certain enemies you can't defeat. Ugh, another person who can't stand challenge. Kinda like a certain someone. You already know who.
Wonderful.
Oh, you're gonna talk about the music and sound now. So, I guess I could call the first part of the review, "Look at me play SMW with my crappy sound editing skills."
So, music so far in a nutshell, for longtime gamers such as myself,
You already implied that you're a longtime gamer.
this should all be second nature to us. And being a longtime gamer of this, I'm pretty much partial to this. So, every gamer, new and old, they should feel right at home with this for sure. Graphics, even to this day, they still don't matter. I mean, yeah, we got 64 and 128 of the ass, but it's no big deal, because 16-bit is definitely for the win, in my case.
I will agree that it's no big deal, since graphics are obviously not the most important part of the game. I'll also say that the 16-bit era is my favorite gaming era, but that's my personal preference.
As for gameplay, if you're a first-timer, it'd be a real pain in the neck, but again, for long-timers, such as myself, it's just like the previous Mario games. You hold Y or B to run around, jump, you go pound away coin boxes, spin around, break blocks, kill enemies faster with the A button. So yeah, all the controls should be second nature to us.
Seeing you describe the controls to the audience, it doesn't actually sound that hard for newcomers. Mario games are usually very easy right from the start as well, especially the 2D ones, but yeah, the later levels can be quite hard. Also, what if there are newcomers who want a challenge?
The fun factor, new gamers and old gamers alike will never ever get tired, no matter what age.
Then how come you said that it would be a pain in the neck for newcomers? Contradiction for the win!
There's also dangerous terrains you have to go through in order to ensure the greatest adventure of all. Final verdict on Super Mario World? Is it worth everyone's time? You bet your
Hang on a second. Did you forget to censor a word?
64 and 128 of the ass.
Yep, you did, since this is the censored version. But we're at the home stretch now.
And it's a must-own. Whether it's SNES, or the Game Boy Advance remake, or any other remake.
There was a version of Super Mario All-Stars that had Super Mario World pictured here, but I think it's more of a port than a remake. It did have new Luigi sprites, 4 save files, and you could press select to exit to the All-Stars title screen from the map screen as opposed to the original game on the SNES, but other than that, it plays exactly the same.
Nintendo plans to do in the future. Bottom line, no matter how young or old you start, always keep this game within your heart and in your mind, too. Until next time, gamers.
Okay, I'm gonna end it right here, since the ending is just him exiting his house and teleporting using the green screen effect, then the credits roll. So what do I think of Gaming Prodigy's SMW review? Well, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it could have been a lot better. First off, the zooming and panning effects are pretty pointless. The camera angle plus the close-up effects while we see him play is kinda weird too. Second, most of the review was just him trying to sound cool and hip while playing the game. In a game review, you're supposed to talk about what you like and dislike about the game. You can act funny in your reviews, but try to be funny in moderation so people won't label you as an AVGN ripoff. Third, and the number one thing to improve on, is the sound. The commentary sounds really jumpy, making it difficult for the audience to listen to. Also, since the commentary was recorded by using a camera while playing the game, the audio in the game itself sounds seriously out of sync. I recommend doing post-commentary, meaning recording the commentary with something like a microphone after you record the footage. Post-commentary gives you an easier time to think of what to say. That plus a script. Scripts help a whole lot. You can keep doing takes if you screw up on a line you're trying to say as well. Recording your lines without any background noise is recommended too. Also, if you can, you could record the entire game for your review, but leave out spoilers such as endings and plot twists.
Skipping the intro for your pleasure, and I don't like the Saw in His World that much anyways.
I played the original Sonic the Hedgehog when I was 2 years old.
So did a lot of people in the early 90s, myself included.
After that, I was a huge Sonic freak. I watched the TV show, read the comics, and got all of the sequels. However, after that, there was a time of darkness. A new Sonic game wouldn't be released for a long time. Forget all the spin-offs, Sonic 3D Blast, Spinball, every single Sonic game on the Sega Game Gear. All of us 7-year-old Sonic fans wanted a brand new Sonic Adventure. And that's exactly what we got. Sonic Adventure! See what I did there?
No shit, Sherlock! Of course the game was called Sonic Adventure.
It had beautiful graphics, kick-ass music, and our favorite blue hedgehog. But even Sonic Adventure had its flaws. Bad camera, voice acting, and cutscenes plagued what could have been a classic game. But let's just get this straight, guys. You all know it's true deep down inside. Sonic Adventure was a terrible game.
So you're saying that everyone knows deep down that it's a terrible game. Please tell me you're just trolling. If it was a terrible game, then why was it critically acclaimed by many? And why was it the best-selling Dreamcast game? That makes perfect sense, considering you dissed the game right after you said it had beautiful graphics and kick-ass music.
There were glitches up the ass and way too many characters. The only character who had any
True, there are glitches in the game, but they are not game-breaking, so it's still playable. As for, quote, too many characters, unquote, dude, there are only 6 playable characters. It's not like Super Smash Bros. Brawl, where there are like 35 characters to choose from. And besides, having more than one playable character adds to the replay value, and that's a good thing when it comes to games.
Sonic Adventure 2 was an improvement, gameplay-wise, streamlining the characters and all that, but it automatically loses points with me for the addition of Shadow.
And the inclusion of Shadow makes the game bad because... I'll give you 3 seconds to say why.
Lately, Sega is intent on running this once-beloved franchise into the ground with gun-toting black hedgehogs, a game that won't let you play as Sonic even when you're playing as Sonic.
What do you mean by a game that won't let you play as Sonic even when you're playing as Sonic? The game is called Shadow the Hedgehog. Of course you can only play as him. You can't play as Sonic during the course of the story mode. And what's with the Sonic Heroes title string you put there?
And a love relationship between a blue hedgehog and a human.
Bleh, bleh, bleh. I already know a montage of Sonic and Elise clips. Skipping this.
Now, hoverboards. Enter Sonic Riders Zero Gravity exclusively on the Nintendo Wii, meaning that it's a PS2 port.
Technically you're right, but I think they made the PS2 version for those who don't have a Wii. Plus the PS2 sold loads of units.
Hey, where's that meathead store?
Oh, he's off making better reviews.
Hey, you're right. Better reviews than this one I'm commentating on.
Anyway, let me get started.
Took me long enough. Hey, hold up a minute. Girls hate guys who rush the jet. Rush?
The story goes that a meteorite falls to Sonic's home planet, which, for some reason, makes a bunch of robots go apeshit and try to destroy the world. Tails finds this meteorite and gives it to Sonic, making the robots target our heroes. Eventually, Sonic and friends run into Jet, Wave, and Storm. Oh, not that one.
Oh wow, real mature of you.
This one. And yeah, he's a huge idiot. Not that one. This one. They get together to find out what's been happening to the world and try to stop it. By racing! Doesn't make much sense, really.
Just like in Diddy Kong Racing, where Diddy and his friends have to stop WizPig by racing. Hey, it's just a game, it doesn't need to make sense.
The game takes its B-movie plot way too seriously. I mean, listen to this.
The divine wings, straddler of stars, lose their plumes to the dark and
Blah.
fall to the ground. The plumes become as stars,
Shut up.
returning to this land.
No one cares.
We, the children of Babylon,
Babylon?
This game sucks.
I honestly don't see how the game took its plot too seriously. All I saw was Knuckles reading an ancient message about the meteorites, and you gotta love how he's saying, blah, and shut up, no one cares, as he's watching the cutscene.
This flaw becomes much worse when you throw in Jason Griffith and his gang of no-talent hacks into the mix.
So you're saying that Jason Griffith's voice acting automatically makes it worse. In that case, then all cutscenes from every Sonic game with 4Kids voice actors must be automatically bad. Again, please tell me you're just trolling. Oh, and if you want my opinion on Jason Griffith, I think he did a pretty good job as Sonic. Same with Ryan Drummond. I also really liked Roger Craig Smith's Sonic role. He does sound older, but he still has his core personality. Plus, Sonic's already 20 years old, so I think Roger's the perfect voice for him at this time. Bring it on, Roger haters. I'm not scared of you guys.
Cut the act! I'm talking about the global robot rampage! Aren't just some rocks! Babylon Clan legend has... Even without wings, I can still fly!
Man, you really suck.
My question is, why would Sega keep these terrible actors when the old ones were perfectly fine? Well, most of them.
That's Eggman. I wonder what happened to Sonic.
I can offer some reasons for that. Ryan Drummond wanted to be the voice of Sonic in the anime Sonic X, which was gonna be dubbed by 4Kids in New York at that time, but Ryan lived in San Diego, California, so he had to be replaced by Jason Griffith. Then later on, Sega wanted consistency across Sonic media, so Jason replaced Ryan in the games too, starting with Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Rush in 2005. So, there you go. That's why.
My other question is, why would Sega make a new Sonic Riders when the original was so poorly received?
Beats me.
Something's not right.
So Sega can improve on the flaws the original Sonic Riders game had. Plus, the original was a moderate success as far as I know, despite the critics panning the game for its crap controls and all that jazz. I, however, had no problems with the controls. You just have to get used to them to fully enjoy the Sonic Riders games. And in my opinion, Zero Gravity was a better game.
While presentation isn't the most important aspect of the game, it still matters. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity's cutscenes and story is pretty much a joke and not even worth mentioning, so I won't mention it.
You already mentioned the story and cutscenes a few minutes ago. Don't lie to the audience.
Brace yourself!
So, how does it play? Well, let's see. It's a Sonic game that was made after 2001, so it's not looking good already. The overcomplicated controls is what ultimately fail.
The controls aren't overcomplicated. You just have to get used to them while you play, and you will do fine.
I'll try to paraphrase it simply enough for you to follow.
Let's hear it!
At the beginning of the race, you have to time it so that you won't smack into the electric fence at the starting gate. You want to start running at the right time to get a good lead from the start. Mess up, and we're having fried hedgehog tonight. See what I did there? Once in a race, you'll notice a meter on the bottom left corner of the screen. That's your GP meter, or gravity points. This basically controls all the actions you can do using the gravity meteor thingy, like drifting, which looks pretty cool, I must say. You can also do this technique to reach new areas on the track too. Jump off a half pipe, redirect gravity towards a wall, and bingo! You're riding on the wall. And if you're really good, you can do the same off the draft your opponents create. Sweet. A GP can also be used to perform a gravity dive, which is basically the game's form of Nitro in Need for Speed or some other such garbage. To fill the GP meter up, you can do a number of different things. First off, it helps to get a perfect start out of the gate. You can also perform tricks, which has been seriously dumbed down from the original Sonic Riders. Instead of using button combinations to perform tricks, like the original, All you have to do is press the 2 button before going off a ramp, and your character does tricks automatically. Don't get me wrong, there's still some minor strategy involved. Depending on what location of the ramp you press 2 on, you will either do crappy tricks, or you can go nuckbutts crazy and do some crazy spinny shit that makes me nauseous. Depending on what kind of trick you perform, you will get a certain amount of GP. You'll also gain GP for performing special moves that are unique to each character's class. There are 3 different classes in the game: Speed, Flight, and Power. Depending on what class you choose, you'll have a certain type of board which can perform a special gear change. What's a gear change?
Gear change! Gear change!
You can perform a gear change by pressing the A button on the Wiimote. You'll also have to collect rings before you can form them, however. Each class Speed characters can ride rails, Power characters can break through walls to reveal shortcuts, and Flight characters can go off special ramps and fly through a chain of rings a la Superman 64. So, after explaining the gameplay to you, one might ask, "Hey, Ayu Fryer, that seems like an alright set of rules to a racing game. What's so bad about it?" Well, I'll tell you what. They're terrible.
You don't need to repeat yourself. You already mentioned that the controls are overcomplicated, but at least you'll explain why.
Huh?
The Wiimote just doesn't respond.
Okay, I'm just asking. What's with the Donald Duck picture? Whatever, moving on.
And when performing certain actions. For example, to perform a gravity dive, you shake the Wiimote, but half the time it doesn't even respond. When you do manage to get into a gravity dive, to stop, you have to shake the Wiimote again. But there's a good 2-second delay. Because of that, stay in gravity dive for too long and waste precious GP. Not to mention the terrible pointer functionality. It just doesn't work.
What pointer functionality? Are you talking about pointing the Wii remote while racing or navigating through the menus? I'm confused.
Here's another example. Take a look at this. I was turning the Wiimote so sharply here, it was practically upside down.
It's probably because you were using the gravity dive too late at that point. That might have caused you to bump into that wall.
And yet, poor old Sonic doesn't respond to this at all. With the GameCube controller, it actually is a bit easier because you're pressing buttons instead of doing unintuitive motions. But that doesn't hide the fact that the boards handle like shit and don't turn sharply enough.
I'm not going to repeat myself again about the controls, but I have played the game with the Wii remote on its side, and it feels fine for me.
A first-time player will spend more time bumping into walls than actually playing the game. The story mode is also incredibly short and incredibly stupid, like I mentioned before. The sad thing is that Storm, not this guy, that whatever. The sad thing is that Storm is the one that ends up finding the last remaining meteorites, which helps Sonic and friends save the day. Look, I'm going to be perfectly honest. The game isn't that terrible. It's actually a pretty high caliber among Wii shovelware. The thing is that it's so painfully mediocre, almost no effort was put forth into its creation, you end up with a game that's better off not existing. This game just isn't worth playing at all. Just stay away from it. A game with such terrible controls, graphics, story, voice acting just shouldn't exist.
Okay, I'm sorry if the Price is Right fail horn is overdone, but he forced me to use it. First, he said that the game isn't that terrible, but then he goes on to say that the game is better off not existing. Congratulations! You just turned into a hypocrite just by saying that. Make up your mind about what to say next in your review so you don't contradict yourself again. Moving on.
If you're itching for a racing game, there's plenty of other titles to pick up. Wipeout, F-Zero, Mario Kart, are just to name a few. And now for a score. This is pretty hard, honestly. Do games really need a score, or should an in-depth review tell everyone everything they need to know about a game, and they can make their own decision from it? Well, I'm not sure about this, so I'm just gonna end it here.
Turning tail and running away?
No, I just decided to give my opinion of the game for entertainment rather than instructing people to make a decision.
You think I was just sitting around here twiddling my thumbs?
Oh, so that's what you guys watch a review for?
I follow you. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Alright, I guess. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity receives dying mascot on life support out of creators that don't know what to do with said mascot.
What? That's not even an actual score! Besides, you were deciding on whether to announce the score or not. You could have just given the score to the game, or just leave it at that for others to decide on their own. Granted, I understand it's for humor purposes, but this honestly wasn't funny for me. But anyways, it's gonna be finally done.
This has been IDoFryer1313, and the Assailant 6661 for Hear Me.
So overall, guys, that review was pretty lousy, even for a first review of his. As you can tell from his review, he's an old-school Sonic fanboy, meaning that he worships classic Sonic, yet hates the newer games, including the Sonic Adventure series in his case. He complains about everything in the game, from the story, to the cutscenes, to the voice actors, and to the controls. And about the storm picture of some guy with a Super Princess Peach case? That was pretty disturbing. And don't even get me started about his comment about the first Sonic Adventure.
If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna skip the unnecessarily long intro. And a word of advice, if you want to have an intro, you should make it short. Your intro's like a minute long, which is quite excessive for an intro if you ask me.
Hey guys!
You gotta love those Begonia voices.
It's me, GyroEdgy453, here to bring you my top favorite Sonic characters based on looks. So yeah, I will be showing you guys my list of cutest, most glamorous and indeed sexiest characters. And there are male and female characters in here to be fair to the guys and girls watching. So let's start the list. 10. Methyl the Dark. He is Vanis and by far the most successful Sonic villain. He killed Sonic. 9. Tails. Isn't he cute? 8. Cream the Rabbit. She is just plain cute.
To be honest, this isn't that bad so far. My only suggestion, though, is that you could go into more detail why they deserve that spot in your top 10 list. Other than that, it's alright so far.
7. Silver. With your like that you can't deny this awesome edgy place on this list. 6. Blade the Cat. Fire rules. 5. Sonic the Hedgehog. Look at him go. 4. Shadow the Hedgehog. Vanis. 3. Amy Rose. 2.
So, you're not gonna say why you like Amy Rose? Okie dokie then.
Rouge the Bat. Let's just say that is some sexy bat. And the moment you've all been waiting for.
Drumroll, please.
At first place it is. Gyro the Hedgehog. With powers like his and damn good looks, this dashing hedgehog is always there to save the day.
You egotistical fellow. Firstly, Gyro the Hedgehog is not an official Sonic character. It's just a recolor of Sonic that you have made. Secondly, you shouldn't put fan characters on the number 1 spot, let alone your own. Put a Sonic character you like the most that isn't fan-made on number 1.
Anyway, this is GyroEdgy453 saying see ya guys!
Yeah, this top 10 list speaks for itself. So let's recap. Well, first off, your intro is way too long. Just make it fast-paced and have it last for 5 to 10 seconds long. Or you could just have a picture of your character and GyroEdgy453 presents or something like that, with Sonic music to go with it. Second, try to elaborate more on why you like the characters. Your reasons are a little too brief, so go ahead and work on that. Third, don't put your own fan character on the number 1 spot. It just makes everyone believe that you only care about your own ego, and it also looks like you're bragging about yourself.